Hi guys, Artiar here. So today we're going over the updated PvE tier list for Etheria Restart. So this tier list here is based on a ranking from Prydwen, so which is one of the go-to community resources for Etheria right now. And I'll link the full list in the description below. So I'll break down in each tier, talk about some of the standout units, and share a bit of my own experience, who have been used, who surprised me, and maybe who I think is overrated. So let's jump right in. So the first one, we can see that they actually added the two new character already, which is Holden and also Holden. Alright, so because I already slightly went through with the tier list, I pretty much agree with the whole tier list itself. Okay, let me move my own character here. Okay, so we're gonna have DPS, debuff, support, and sustain, and then this is generic PvE, which is the overall PvE tier list. But if you want more base content, you can go for check it out, like Aurora, Doki Doki, Termination. They have different tier lists for it. But let's take a look at generic PvE. Diting, my man, Diting, your best DPS slot you can have. He is now at T0. He can be used in Aurora, one-shotting the boss. He can be used in Termination. Basically any kind of PvE content, as long as you want him to one-shot the target, you can use him. The reason why he's not going to be good in Doki Doki is because the boss summoned too many mobs, and you want the thing to one-shot them, right? But it will take some time to actually one-shot it one by one. It's not that you can't use that, you can't use him, just that it would take time to actually DPS it. And in Union Boss and Phantom, I also use my Diting a lot. He's my main DPS in mine account, and then I'm basically using him everywhere. I pretty much agree with the T0. And Marcia here, why he is at T0, basically he can be used in any content in the game. If you have Marcia, you can just fully max him out. He can carry you basically in any content, okay? As long as you need a DPS, he can fulfill the role because he's a constant as a character, and he don't have a disadvantage element, so he's very good in most content. But in DPS, right, the Rosa actually get lowered down by one tier. I think Rosa can actually be at T0, but T0.5, it also makes sense as well, because if you want to say can Rosa cover most of the content like Marcia? Not really, but if Rosa is really that OP compared to Diting, probably not really, because Diting is still going to be the main DPS output in terms of single target. Rosa is also a single target if we don't talk about AoE. Then yeah. Okay, then Rahu here, I personally just got Rahu, and then I didn't use Rahu a lot at my own account currently. But I know Rahu is going to be very strong in the PvP with his own defend up buff, the stun, the assist from his passive. He's going to be a very good DPS. I do see player actually using Rahu for Doki Doki at Inferno or Hell 4 if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, overall I haven't built him yet because I don't think mine account is at the position to build Rahu at the moment. But I'm pretty surprised he's at 0.5 in terms of general PvE. I would thought that he is actually at T1, something like that. Then Shadow Sanya. So Shadow Sanya got boosted back up. It's pretty surprising because of the DOT nerf, but one of the main reasons why Shadow Sanya is back to the top tier is because Termination Inferno. Everyone in Termination is using Inferno, and not just that, also including the other shell bosses that can be affected by DOT team comp. Then you're gonna see Shadow Sanya. Basically now Shadow Sanya is conquering most of the Inferno content. If we don't consider about like Hell 3, Hell 4, Shadow Sanya is very meta. I might actually go to build my Shadow Sanya now to max out her S1, but I need to slowly gather more of the yellow tofu, the perfect lattice, to actually skill her up. Then Ziada here is still maintaining one of the best DPS because of the more buff she get, then she casts more AoE, and then the skill cooldown is very slow, very few, so she can just keep spamming the buff. And Doki Doki is at T0 now, on par with Remoka. It's because Remoka, even though it's T0, but it's being used in Hell 3 and Hell 4, right? But the moment you reach Inferno, you're going to see more Ziada instead of Remoka, because you're no longer able to nuke the target. Remoka is so good, it's because you can nuke the target and then the splash damage become higher damage. But while Ziada is, I can't nuke them, but Ziada can slowly spam S3 to defend, break them, and also do massive damage. So in terms of consistent damage, Ziada is going to be better. So that's the reason why Xiada is still at the 0.5, and the other general PvE like the Infinity Train we currently have now, Xiada is also one of the main unit for us to use in the Infinity Train. Then if we take a look at the debuffer, Henrich is still going to be one of the best debuffer because of consistent dispel, his special debuff that can increase the crit damage taken and also the crit rate taken as well, and then buff block, disease that can anti-heal. Everything on his kit here is going to be very good. Not to mention he have AoE damage, AoE dispel, so one of the best dispeller you can have and debuffer you can have. Then surprisingly, Holden is actually at T0. So if you watch my previous video that I analyzed about who should you summon for, I actually voted Holden more because his kit is very solid compared to Hoyen. What's her name again? Hoyen, right? So yeah, surprisingly, Holden is actually at T0. Very strong transformation because the counter attack with defense break can dispel and also turn meter down 100%. General PvE, you can also use him. You just need to build him tanky and just let him keep on trigger counter attack will do. Aurora can also be used because of the element reason is still the same element with Aurora, and you can just rely on Holden's dispel. Is going to be very consistent. So overall, yes, it's a T0 unit, and he's currently at rate up. So if you really want to get him, just go for it. It's actually very strong. I will actually summon for Holden as well. If the end of his banner I still don't get Holden within the perma banner, then I'll go for Holden. Why am I still not getting Holden in the rate up banner? Because I'm trying to gamble claws in the perma banner, because now my account here is pretty solid already since the blast of the summon, but all I need now is claws. I really need claws to be one of the best debuffer in the game. She have AoE debuff, and the debuff here can speed down, can defend break, can apply the hack in, and also the hacking debuff she's able to provide is very strong. She can reduce the target's damage deal. She can increase the damage to the boss as well. It's very strong, and I really want him. I've been saying that I want her since the early tier list that I made before Etheria Restart came out. I already wanted her, but I can't get her at the moment, right? So I hope I can actually gamble her through the perma banner in the future, because we don't have any selector anymore. But yeah, then not surprised, Dina and Grey is at T0.5. Dina here, if you don't have claws, then you're most probably gonna use Dina everywhere because of the AoE defense break, AoE vulnerable for increase the damage taken as well, and so also have a chance for the erosion. Everything in Dina is basically very good, but in terms of debuff wise, claws still doing a better job because claws can also reduce the boss damage to you, so overall your team survival will get highly increased due to the claws debuff. But Dina can't do that. So Dina team is more about can you one-shot the boss or kill the boss fast, because she can't really provide survivability into your team. Then Grey, if you have watched my previous video, the Grey DPS for Doki Doki Hell 3 to Hell 4, then you get the reason why Grey is actually this high. So Grey here is very strong for most of the general PvE, is rating 0.5, and also for Doki Doki. He can be built as a sub DPS, he can be a crit rate buffer and also AoE defense breaker. And if you pair him with Freya, the crit rate basically is also a turn meter push for your whole team. So not surprised he's actually at 0.5. I'm basically using Grey most of the content as well, since I already invested so much in him to make him like kinda maxed out, right? And then supporter. There's no other unit that can replace Lily. Lily T0 in every single content. If you have Lily and you don't have Lily, it's basically a different gameplay. So that's one of the reasons why I'm making my video content without any Lily, because I don't have her. But that's also one of the reasons why I'm trying to make content without Lily, like title without Lily, because if you are having Lily, you are not playing Etheria Restart, you are playing Etheria Lily. It's not going to be Restart, alright? The Etheria Restart is for player like me that don't have Lily, so I have to keep restarting and challenge the boss. So yeah, if you have Lily, your account is so good, alright? The Lily consistent assist, provide speed up, provide CD reduction, CD reset or bonus turn. Everything in Lily is just so good. No one is on par with the same support tier with Lily. I totally agree. Even Freya like drop down one tier is totally agree, because no one can be the same as Lily. Okay, Freya. So if you watch my previous read up video as well, I did mention Freya is one of the best supporter you can have in the game other than Lily, because it can be used in Tornation, it can be used in Doki Doki. Aurora can be also used, just that you have element disadvantage, so it's highly not recommended to actually use Freya in that content. But other than Aurora, which is element disadvantage, other content in the game, you are basically able to use her. She have buff, debuff, cleanse, turn meter push, turn meter pushback as well, and also sustain, because as long as you're doing damage to the nightmare target, you get some lifesteal. So it's very, very good. There's no one able to on par with Freya. Then for sustain, Lingluo, our free to play 7-day best healer you can have. AoE cleanse, AoE immunity, AoE heal, and then every time the S1 also give heal and also provide a little bit of the buff that can apply heals to your team as well. So Lingluo is going to be one of the best healer. But if you don't have Lingluo, or if you want a unit that can actually revive, then Sanya will be the best bet to go. Sanya is also one of the favorite unit I rated in my own tier list as well. And Sanya have the revive kit. So if you want a unit that provides a little more heal and also a little bit of cleanse, if not mistaken, and then you want revive in the kit, then Sanya is the go-to. So Lingluo in terms of healing will be better than Sanya, but if you want your team to have a revive, emergency revive for your team, Sanya will be the go-to. So, okay, then the other one, Valerian. So if you watch my content video, you'll notice that I've been using Valerian in almost every content, because she's able to provide very consistent shield, provide very consistent buff, and also a cheat death revive for your whole team as well. So basically Valerian is definitely worth the T0 tier. And if you build Valerian, basically she can be used in every single content as well. If you see in the in-game formation recommendation, a lot of players are actually using Valerian. Build her slow, and she can provide you buff passively, and also provide shield, and also provide buff. So it's going to be a very, very good unit. Then Hell Kit actually dropped one tier down, even though the Hell Kit can provide a very massive shield. But if your Hell Kit is not that stacked, like if you didn't gear him a lot with attack, the shield can actually break pretty easily. But in PvP, he's actually going to be very strong, because of the shield is going to be very thick in the PvP. And then with that shield, is basically giving you free immunity as well. As long as you have the shield, you have the immunity effect within the shield. So Hell Kit is actually a very strong unit, but if you have to compare with the other healer we are playing around with the PvE, then the Hell Kit shield looks a little bit not that good, okay, because other than shield, he don't have heal. Then Valerian here provide you shield, but also provide you buff and provide you the heal buff from her S2. Sanya heal, Lingluo also heal. Alright, then Mia here, Mia is actually pretty good, because if you look at her kit, she provides a lot of things. Like after the heals everyone 30% of her max HP is by her max HP, not the target max HP, and reduce everyone's and skill shell CD by 1 turn, extend all buff by 1 turn, and shorten all debuff by 1 turn. Basically the S3 here is going to be very, very good. And then the dispel here, pushback turn meter, is also very good. So she have heals, she have CD reduction, she have dispel as well. I will actually consider Mia at T0 as well, but yeah, I will say a T0.5 is not really a bad way to go for. Alright, then the bottom one, let's take a look here. So T1 here, we're gonna have Borg. I am pretty curious why is he at T1. I will actually put him at T2, but I'm not really sure of that. I know he's very good in PvP, but I'm not sure in other content other than his Dispel kit, where is he good at. Because in terms of Dispel, I will probably go for like someone like Heinrich or Holden. I probably won't consider Borg. I will even consider like Viper for Dispel. So I'm not really sure why is he at T1. So if you have any idea about him, you can let me know as well. But I'm not really sure of him. I'm not using him at the moment. Then for Fungus here, I think he's at T1 because he's the one of the main DOT DPS if you want to play Shadow Sanya, and the DOT team Fungus is a must build for that reason. And then Krolos here. So Krolos here, I will actually debate him to go up to T0.5 instead of T1 because Termination is one of the meta you need to nuke the boss, and one of the meta you need to actually keep using him in the Union bosses as well. He can just keep spamming his S3. And general PvE, I will say he's actually at 0.5 instead of T1 because I will say Krolos is actually very strong. I don't agree that he's at T1. I will actually consider to push him up to T0.5. But yeah, so Remoka here, I will actually consider Remoka at T0.5 as well, but Remoka is more strictly against Doki Doki, but Termination can actually go up to T1. So we actually see teams Remoka is actually using with D-Ting together in Termination to double nuke the boss. So you put up debuff, you use Remoka to chip down some of the HP from the boss, and then you use D-Ting to finish up the boss HP, right? So not sure why Remoka is at T1 because overall content like general PvE, Union boss I agree, but Termination can actually go up to T1 and then PvP T1, yeah. So probably I will debate like put him up to T0.1, but for now it's at T1. Then Ring the Unbow, if you're using her for most of the content, he's actually a pretty solid AoE DPS, but that's it. For PvP it's pretty scary though. Then for Tiamat here, basically yeah, T1 suits her because it's pretty good in PvP. Overall PvE, because of the nerf, then Tiamat is no longer that OP. Then the next one, Kazuyo, Kazuyo, which is the unit that I've been using for my Doki Doki and PvP as a CC unit, has a debuff, attack down debuff, and also have turn meter down as well. She's actually very good. I'm using her for Doki Doki and PvP, which overall is the same rating as Prydwen. It's a very good unit to actually invest in. Same for Marvel. In early game, you are going to spam Marvel's turn meter down, but the higher you go, then the boss have the turn meter reduction buff there, then Marvel value actually went down in PvE content. So that's the reason why he went down to T1 instead of T0 or T0.5. Then Mil here, Mil, I'm actually surprised that she's at T1 instead of T0.5. So when Mil released, I think a lot of players actually trying to get her because of the turn meter adjustment and then the CC control of the freeze. Yeah, she's gonna conquer PvP for sure. But in PvE, right, the only content where Mil is gonna shine is gonna be Doki Doki because of her free CC and also turn meter exchange. But other than Doki Doki, the other boss content, they already they have the turn meter reduction and they don't get CC at all, then Mil value went down. That's the reason why Mil actually went down, because of the turn meter reduction 30% with the default kit of the higher difficulty boss. Or else Mil is actually higher tier than T1, but yeah. Then the next one is Beyond. So Beyond here, very strong buffer, one of the most aggressive buffer you can have in this game, because she provides attack up and crit damage up for your team. It's going to be very strong buff, and also an emergency revive, and also instantly a bonus turn for your unit. So if you're looking like a D-Ting team, if you want to like make a D-Ting plus Beyond team, Beyond is like a must thing to buff up your D-Ting to have aggressive buff, and then to instantly put S2 bonus turn to D-Ting to let D-Ting nuke another time. Then Chucky, one of the best turn meter pusher for your SR. Turn meter push, very consistent turn meter push, and then provides attack up buff. If you already have attack up buff, she will give you a special buff that can keep turn meter the whole tip as well. It's one of the best turn meter unit. Then the next one is Doki Doki. So Doki Doki value actually went down. It's because if you really want to use Doki Doki, you have to speed tune your team very nicely to make Doki Doki's buff land to the correct unit to turn meter push them. So I think that's the reason why not many players using Doki Doki. To be honest, I will say more players are using Tsukiyomi or probably Yang compared with Doki Doki, right? Because you need to actually tune for it. Then for the sustained Chucky, so why Chucky is actually so good is because of her very unique buff she's able to provide, or Origami Guardian. So this Origami Guardian is actually coming very handy for most of the situation. because when you get attacked by a skill, you're going to consume 1 stack of the Origami Guardian to reduce the damage taken by 35%. So one of the reasons why players are using Chucky in their sustain team, like for example, they're going to build like Hell Kit plus Chucky, so they can damage reduce the boss damage through the Origami Guardian, and then the Hell Kit shield will sustain longer, something like that. Then for the T2 here, Holden. So my previous video did mention that I don't think Holden kit is that interesting. She's gonna be a PvP unit and then in the end you see Prydwen website here, they did rate Holden at 0.5 at PvP, but in PvE content not really, because of her kit is more towards PvP, and then I don't really think in PvE it's gonna shine that much because of the you have to die kit. The passive here, basically you want her to going to die to trigger the effect. Then Lian here got reduced tier as well, because in higher tier you're gonna suffer without not enough DPS or sustain, so Lian value is not going to be that high at lower tier. So that's one of the reasons why so many players is actually resetting Lian. Alright, then the debuffer section here, we have Chucky the Guard, that if you want to make a very tanky team, Chucky the Guard will be the go-to, but I'm not really playing that team at the moment, so I will skip review on him. Celine, I hate her, so let's just skip for it. Kraken. So Kraken is actually a pretty good unit in Doki Doki and most of the control content, but if you want to compare with Kazuyo do more consistent attack down and more usage compared to Kraken, but I will actually debate Kraken can go up to T1 instead of T2. But one of the reasons why Kraken can't really be at higher tier or on par with Kazuyo is because once you miss the freeze, then basically that's the end. You have no more other kit that can actually apply freeze or apply some control for your Doki Doki team. And Kazuyo here, at the meantime, if Kazuyo miss the slumber, she still have attack down, so it's more consistent for your overall team survivability. That's the reason why they put Kraken 1 tier lower in most of the content. Then for Lilith here, I don't really play Lilith, but I know some player is actually using Lilith with a pretty high skill to combo with the Lilith special debuff to have a stun. But overall, I don't really use her, so I can't really comment much of her. Then Mizuki Makoto is like a counter-attack kind of Holden. You can think of Holden. You can think of Holden, but in an SR version, it's going to be Mizuki Makoto. But overall, it's not going to be that reliable. If you want like this spell kind of thing, it's better to go for other unit. Then Obo is going to be one of your main DOT unit as well, other than Fungus. If you want more DOT, then you're going for Obo. If you are not going to build a DOT, then he doesn't bring too much of a value. Then the next one is Veronica. Veronica here also have buff steal and then spread buff for your whole team. I think Veronica tier went down is because of her hot fix that actually makes her buff now no longer able to extend. The Soul Ward here. Now Soul Ward here cannot be extended. So previously, if you have Soul Ward, so your HP won't fall below 1 point, which is you can't die. And then now you can't extend this buff here, so you are not able to use like, for example, Lingloi here to help you CD buff extend your team. Like for example, Mia here to buff extend your team, so everyone get a Soul Ward. So I think that's the reason why Veronica value went down. Then the other one is Viper. So if you are free to play player, you don't have the other debuffer unit like on top here. Let's say you don't have Henrich, you don't have Holden, then who are going to be your consistent dispeller is going to be Viper. So I think Viper can actually go up to T1 instead of T2 because Viper is going to apply dispel and also speed down and attack down, which will highly increase your overall team survivability. So I really think Viper can go up to 1 tier instead of T2 because if I don't have Henrich or Holden, I will definitely use Viper in my team to try to dispel the enemy. Okay, then the next one, supporter here, Tsukuyomi provides a lot of different kind of buff and also have turn meter push and also cooldown reduction. Overall, it's a very solid unit, but it's most likely going to be an alternative. Like most of the time, you are actually using Lily. If you don't have Lily, you're going to be like a player like me who is using Freya or Beyontin, or you're going to use Chucky. But rare situation, you actually need Tsukuyomi for the speed up buff and attack up buff. Then for Turan Dot here and Yang here is for the dispel and also the turn meter push if you really want the unit. Then Turan Dot here is more about in PvP if not mistaken, or transformation for her dispel. You have a dispel in her kit at her S2. Then for her S3 is providing AoE buff for your whole team. Then the next one, Dorothy here, I don't use her, him or her at all. If I want to train other unit as a sustain, I would probably go for Sanya or Valerian. I won't just go for Dorothy. Then we have T3 to T5, which is the most of the unit that they won't be using because of some of unit got nerf, or some unit is not going to be that useful, right? So most of them is going to be the rare unit, but probably I can actually debate with some of the unit, which is the first one is Victor. Can actually go like, alright, probably not at the T2, right? But Victor is actually a pretty strong unit for you to use as a DPS. But because of the nerf, because so many people is playing Victor in the open beta, so that's the reason why he went down. Then the other one is actually for Dorothy the Wisher. Though Dorothy the Wisher, if you actually speed tune a team, and if you actually play in manual, alright, so if we don't talk about auto mode, right, if we talk about manual mode, you can actually use Dorothy plus Dating plus Beyond and also Dina to help you cleave the transformation Hard 3 and Hard 4. Cause you can use something like Dina, defend, break them, then Beyond provide buff for your whole team, then D-Team do damage to the boss, then you use Dorothy to S2 on D-Team to let D-Team take another action, nuke the boss again, then you use Beyond S2 to give D-Team another special turn and nuke the boss again. Cause if you look at the Dorothy's kit here, right, no matter you can boost the target's AP turn meter by 50% and also provide crit damage up buff. But if this effect here, the turn meter boost effect can be crit, so you have to build your Dorothy with crit, and then the turn meter boost will double, and double basically is extra 1 turn because it gives you 100%. So this is a possible team, but you require to manual. So that because you require to manual, so Dorothy value went down. And the other one is if you don't really have a very good turn meter pusher, you can go build number 41. But if you really want a turn meter pusher, I will recommend you Chucky more. Chucky turn meter push is a lot more consistent compared with number 41. Then most of the other units here that they doesn't really have a usage. Probably Kazami Kazuyo here can have a usage. I do see player using Kazami Kazuyo combined with Chucky the guard to actually make a very tanky team, because she able to provide like CD reduction and also debuff to the enemy, so you're able to do that. But most of the time, this T3 to T5 here, they have a very niche unit, so you're not going to build them anyway. For most of the situation, you're going to mostly build the character around T0 to T2. But in my opinion, some tier can go higher, like I mentioned previously, like Viper for example. I think Viper can go up to T1. But yeah, I pretty much agree with this tier list here. It's a very good tier list overall. It's very consistent, and that will be the breakdown for the current PvE tier list from Prydwen. So let me know in the comments, do you agree with this ranking, or are there any unit you think that's underrated or they are actually placed too high? I'll be keeping an eye out for the update and might actually revisit this again or as a new content or unit drop. So if you found this useful, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more Etheria Restart content, and thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Special thanks for the direct support on the YouTube membership. So for the benefactor of Artiar, which is GenMP, SPVCEJVMQ, Trendcan, thank you so much for your support. And also special thanks for the supporter or patron of Artiar, which is Louis Schneider, Agni, Wang Tamer, Ziggy, Kamaruki, Sunwalks, Rimu, Choni, Antonio Winterspoon, Cragran, Calamity, Rocco Standions, Jordan Alons. Special thanks for your support. And also special thanks for the Super Thanks MVP, HMZ, RY, and X, Reeks. Thank you so much for your support. Special thanks for the direct support on the live stream super chat for the latest 10. Thank you so much for Code Wardeners, Calamity, Agni, Love Fatima, Fatima Little Underwear, Bloods, Riku Fred, Choni. Thank you so much for your support.